Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and today we're going to be checking out Babysitter Bloodbath for the PC and Mac.
Released in 2013, this is actually the second game to be released by Pig Farmer Productions, who also made the games Minotaur and Sanitarium Massacre. These are all pretty much similar in style, and I think they basically run off the same engine. They're all throwbacks to the old horror slasher games and movies, and you're going to see that in a bit, but if you're looking for a game that's really just, it has that good feel of an old slasher movie, this is it.
Jim, you forgot to mention the cool-ass cover art that looks like VHS tapes!
Yes, they look like VHS tapes. Yes, the fucking, let's just go.
I like it.
First off is the graphics, and look, I'll come right out and say it, these graphics look like shit, but it's on purpose. The first thing that really jumps out in my mind is, this is a throwback to Alone in the Dark, and it's got that really pointy polygon style.
Polygonal!
Yeah, that. Words. Anyway, it's got that style down to a T, and it's got all the fixed camera angles that you can't adjust, much like the old Resident Evil games. It all really does a good job of just adding to the suspense of the game. Does it look good? No. Does it look good by 2015 standards? Hell no. But it knows what it's going for, and it does it well. We both gave it 5s, because it knows what it is. And I'll add a beer, just because I can respect the fixed camera angles that they used. The sound. Honestly, there's really not a lot here. There's... what the fuck was that?
Made you jump, didn't it, Jim?
Holy shit. Well, that just bumped it up a few points. The sound here does its job well. It's a lot of ambient noise. It's actually a really quiet game. There's no spoken dialogue of any kind. Really minimal sound effects. Oh, God!
Scared you again, didn't you?
Yes, there are random parts where you have really loud noise. The game actually, in one room, has Night of the Living Dead playing at max volume. And trust me, you hear that in a couple rooms down. And when you get chased by the actual babysitter killer, holy shit is that music. No, leave me alone, Oh, God. It actually does get really intense and scary. So, not a lot here, but what they have works great. And for that, we gave it 6s. I'm going to add 2 beers for 2 ball-shittingly scary tracks.
Alright, so the control in this game, it is, once again, for the PC and Mac. And I tried like hell to link up a USB controller to it. I couldn't figure it out, but I think the way they intended you to play is with a keyboard. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat, I've played many PC games, but I never liked the keyboard setup. And a game like this that plays a lot like Resident Evil and those old tank controls, the control just makes this game so much harder than it needs to be. And I really didn't appreciate it. I mean, my hand was getting so goddamn tired from trying to stretch over the tab while I'm doing this, while I'm doing that. That shit just got really annoying to me. And if you watched my live stream of this game, you know I died many times. And most of them were because I couldn't get to the goddamn control in time. With that being said, Jim and I, we both had to give it a 3. I know what they were trying to do, but that doesn't mean I have to enjoy it. As far as a beer is concerned, I'm going to actually add in 3 to stick with that number. Just because your hand is going to be so goddamn arthritic driven that the beer might actually calm it down? It's science. Just do it. Alright, and to completely contradict myself, the gameplay. I actually really enjoyed it. For me, a game can control bad and I can still get a fun experience out of it. And like I said, the control being so shitty actually drove up the intensity and the tension. Jim mentioned, you got the sound going on, you got the varying camera angles, and that all ties in for a game that's really just a cat and mouse chase around a house. You're just trying to collect together various things. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's definitely not linear, and you do actually have to think a little bit about, what am I doing? How am I going to get out of this house? Where's the little kid at? It's just a perfect homage to the old horror slasher movies, and I loved it. I've never had that full experience of being chased by a slasher in a video game before this, and I actually have gone back and played this at least once. So, as you see from our scores, we both gave it 7s. I'll add in one more beer, just once again. You gotta calm those nerves down while you're running away from this Michael Myers wannabe.
Alright, Originality. This will be quick. Honestly, there's not a lot of originality here. But really what the... Oh God, stop doing that! Oh God, I hate him. Anyway, there's not a lot of originality here, but it's just refreshing to see a horror game that's actually scary. And the fact that it was made by such a small development team, is it even more than one guy?
I'm not sure, but kudos to these motherfuckers.
Yeah, right, these guys know atmosphere. We gave it 4s, but it's more of a respectable 4. We like what they did here. As far as beers go, I'll give it 1 beer because I've probably peed about 12 liters already. Ah, what the...
We're not in Europe, goddamn Frenchie!
Right, ounces, I meant ounces. 1 beer, 12 ounces, pee, you get it. Damn it!
Alright, and probably the quickest point of this whole video, the replayability, it's a hard goddamn game. And although the items that you're looking for stay in the same spot and there's not really much more to discover after beating the game, the killer does show up at complete randoms, so every playthrough won't exactly be the same. He could show up right away or halfway through the game. It is a different experience in that sense, but we couldn't give it more than a 5. You know what? I'm not even adding a beer. It did its job well. So overall, let me start by saying, you can download this game for free from the developer's site. And it is well worth your time to do this, especially if you enjoyed the old style horror games. I love games like this, and Jim said himself, it's been a while since we've played a horror game that's actually scared us. With the difficulty and everything else considered in this game, you can easily go through a 6-pack just trying to get away from that goddamn killer. And I know I had a lot of fun doing it. So as you see from our scores, I gave it a 7, Jim gave it a 6. I just gave it a little extra nod because I took it all the way to the end, and there was something so satisfying about seeing that Michael Myers style ending where the body disappears and there could be a continuation. Anyway, when you round up all of our scores though, this game rounds out to a 5.2. We respect the shit out of this development team, and this probably isn't the truest representation of how we feel about the game, but with the graphics, the sound, and the control, it really just kind of drug the score down. But don't let that fool you. You should still try this out. As far as the beer pairing is concerned, I'm going to suggest you go out and find a local brewery near you. Support a local guy, just kind of like this indie game developer. Me personally, I don't live too far from the Victory Brewing Company, so I'm going to go with one of my favorite beers from them, the Victory Dirt Wolf Double IPA. It's a pretty strong beer, and it goes down surprisingly smooth for how much alcohol it has. It's a perfect pairing for supporting local guys and indie game developers. As always, guys, thanks for checking out this video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you give us a thumbs up, leave some comments, or better yet, why not subscribe? Till next time, guys, cheers.